Six, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here today to talk with you a little bit the process that you can expect to happen after you purchase a tractor and how long it may take to get a machine to your doorstep. Buying a tractor is a different kind of purchase process. When you go through and you select a machine to buy, there's a lot of work that happens within dealerships in order to prep a particular unit for you. It's not like you're gonna walk out here into the parking lot and find exactly what you're looking for to the T. There's a lot of work that happens on our part in helping you go through and select the proper machine for the applications that you have, and also then on the part of our shop guys to go through and prep that tractor to come out to you. So I'm going to walk through here a little bit with you today, show you a couple of different models, give you a little bit of idea of the work that goes into getting that tractor to your doorstep. With only a handful of exceptions, most tractors arriving at equipment dealers are not delivered to us from the manufacturer ready to go to your door. Every model is going to require some amount of effort on our part to do what we call a pre-delivery process, where we're going to go through and prep that tractor for you. If you see back behind me here, these are Kubota loaders. None of these are going to come through generally installed on a tractor. They're going to come to us crated. All of our shop guys are going to go through and do some kind of prep work in order to put that loader onto your tractor. And it's a surprisingly complex process to put one of these things on the first time. Once you've done it, you got a quick attach system to take it on and off, but in our case, none of the mounts are on the tractor in order to be able to do that, and the loader frame itself is in the crate. So our guys are going to have to go through a process of bolting on those frames, then using a chain hoist in order to pick the loader up and drop it into the rack for the very first time. So the loader in and of itself is at minimum generally about a 3-hour installation in order to put on the tractor. Backhoes, which are right back here behind you, if you follow me this direction, are also going to come crated. These back here behind me are BH70s and BH77s. You're going to notice a backhoe and a big wooden crate, and then mounting frames over here to the side. Backhoes are also a complicated piece in order to install. In order to put one of these on, you need to remove the tires from the tractor, take these big long metal frames, bolt them into the sides of the machine, and then take the backhoe and drop the backhoe into the rack on the back of the tractor. And most backhoes are almost a full day's installation between doing the hydraulics and mounting those frames and everything. It takes a good day in the shop in order to prep that backhoe on the tractor for the very first time. Your base tractors are going to arrive at dealerships in various states of disassembly, so a lot of this is going to vary kind of upon the country of origin of where things are actually manufactured. Really dictates on how they arrive here. These Kubota B-Series tractors are built in Japan. You're going to notice that they're going to come through crated and packed extremely tightly because they're going to come over containerized from overseas. These are simply going to need seats put on, fenders put on, steering wheels, tires, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 to 6 hours of work in order to prep one of these once it's landed. If we go back through here through other models, you're going to notice again kind of various states of disassembly depending on where things came from. So the ZD series are built in Georgia, so these are going to come to us much more assembled per se. They're not as tightly packed, they're not as disassembled to get them into a container. So most of the work that we're doing here really comes down to putting on the roll bar, driving the machine off the crate, and then dealing with the returnable crates. F-Series mowers right back around here. We've got another Japanese product. These are going to come through again, much more tightly packed. So you're going to find things like seats that have been removed, roll bars that aren't on, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 hours in order to prep one of these. And there is literally pretty much nothing that's exempt from this process. Even something as simple as an excavator requires prep work. So when these machines arrive, their buckets are made in a different factory than what the base unit itself is, and so they ship into here as different loads. And so our shop guys are going to have to go through and prep the end of an excavator, putting on the quick couplers, thumbs, the buckets, and everything that's required for the given guy who's going to be purchasing that machine. Obviously not a big deal in order to pin on a bucket, but when you start to talk things like quick attach couplers and hydraulic thumbs, you start to get into hydraulic plumbing and a lot of geometry changes that need to be made on that boom that all add time. So we're standing here in our service shop where a lot of this prep work gets done. You have to keep in mind when you come into a shop like this, our business is quite seasonal. We're a lot busier in the springtime than we are in, say, February. And for that reason, you're going to find that service shops don't staff for a peak, right? You kind of staff at an average level throughout the year. It's not unusual when you come into springtime for there to be 20, 25 tractors waiting to be prepped and brought through a shop. that means every technician generally is going to have 5, 6, 7, 8 machines queued up waiting to go through. And you can see as we've walked around here, the amount of time that it takes to prep these machines really starts to add up with the complexity of some of them. You can go through and take, say, a tractor that's receiving a backhoe, a loader, a third function kit. You know, the whole machine like that can take 2.5, 3 days in order to get through a shop and be completely prepped and ready to be brought out to use. So when that queue starts to build of people waiting to come through, sometimes it can take upwards of 2 weeks for a dealership to be able to get your tractor through and get it properly prepped and ready for delivery. So I'm standing out here in the finished lot. This is kind of the end point here of the journey that a piece of equipment takes, from going through with you and a salesman out in the front lot to selecting inventory from the warehouse, coming through the shop in order to be prepped, and finishing out here. All told, the amount of time here that it really takes to beginning and the end of this process really varies a lot depending on the piece of equipment that you're buying. Simple things like zero-turn mowers and that kind of stuff can come out of here very, very quickly, but you can see how when you get into a complicated build of a lot of different attachments, how the time here can really start to ratchet up. I absolutely understand, you know, guys put a lot of time into researching these things and get really excited and have jobs in mind for what they want to do. And when you pull the trigger, you absolutely want that machine sitting in your driveway the next day. But oftentimes that's just not the reality of how this process works. The worst that we generally get around here is normally in the 2 to 3 week time frame once we have everything in hand and in stock and ready to go. But that can vary a lot. Right now it's February, despite my short sleeves, and we probably are running about 3 days right now. So as you're going through these processes, kind of you need to temper, if it's the springtime and you're ready to go, temper that expectation and desire to have something in your garage right away, and give these guys times to do these things right. The last thing that you want to see is a shop rushing to get your stuff outside the door and making silly, stupid mistakes as they're doing it. Give them the time to get things done properly. So if you're going through the purchasing process for a piece of equipment and we can help, or if you have parts or service needs for machines that you've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.